Hi guys, my name's Shadrack Andenga Odinga. You can call me Shadi. Basically, I'm a sports journalist and I'm a footballer. I like athletics basically, and anything that is athletic is good to go with me. I hit the gym, I like swimming, I run, I play football, and basically that's it. And apart from that, I would say that I'm a football commentator, I'm a sports analyst at the same time. I'm a writer too. I do both languages in Kenya. This country I do Swahili and I do English. Once I got off active football, not really active, but I would say something like that. And then I came back to this country. I used to live in the United States of America. So I came back to this country around 2014, 2015. And basically, this is something that I really wanted to do. Around 2010, I lived a little bit in Mexico at a place known as San Luis. And I had a good friend of mine known as Hugo that we played the same team with him at San Luis Potosi. And that guy really pushed me at ESPN, the Deportes, where we used to do a little bit of Spanish, and I liked it actually. But basically, this is something that I went to school for. So when I came here, I saw the kind of journalism in this country was a little bit different from what other countries are doing. So basically, I pursued it, and I knocked on doors, and finally, I got my opportunity, and that's it. My most proud moments were last year. I set on a journey and said that I want to do something that is different in this country that has never been done before. I see a lot of feature stories that are being done on television, whichever. That can be human interest, political, sports, or anything. But to me, I've never heard of a feature story from sports at a sporting angle that has been done on radio. And all the radio stations that I've been working in this country on Swahili. So last year I saw that this is something that I really want to do, a feature story for radio sports. And I did it actually. I did 3. The first one that I started was a little bit whack. So I approached one of my editors and I talked to him, and he's good at it. He's basically an award-winning journalist, and he taught me how to do it. And the highlight of it is one of the stories that I did. I did a story of the second-tier football league in this country known as the National Soccer League, NSL. And there was a lot of corruption, mad corruption. A lot of teams that got promoted from last year to NSL in this country, according to me, I would say they did not deserve. And I did that story, and it actually won an award. And actually, my proudest moment is that that story won an award, and I'm the current best radio sports journalist in this country. That's Annual Journalist Excellence Awards, AJEA, from the Media Council of Kenya. Yeah, I do have my regrets. Media in Kenya is a little bit different. Sometimes it's not what you do expect. Apart from the very fact that as a journalist, my reasons for joining this is just to build myself, be a good journalist, and also improve the journalism standards in this country. And also make money, definitely. You have to make money. But unfortunately, I would say this is much more into TV and radio. Is what I call the necessary competition. That sometimes you can do a radio sports show or a television show with someone and really regret why did you go there, because I would say people they are looking for fame. They want to become celebrities, while I just want to be a journalist and tell a story. I want to highlight what's happening. I come from what I would say a lower middle class society, and I've seen a lot of footballers, a lot of sportsmen and women who are actually celebrities, and their life has just been like that. They just disappear out of the scenario. And if you look at them right now, you'd say that these people are poor. They're living a life that they're not supposed to. And I want to tell their stories, what actually happened. Why are they poor? These are people that played for the national team, Harambee Stars, or represented the country, wherever. And now they're living a life that is not there. Why? Because of corruption, drug abuse, women, alcohol, stuff like that. I want to tell that story. So when I go on TV, I want to go on radio or TV or write something about it. It's because I want to build myself as a journalist, and also I want to improve the journalistic standards, and also sell out the plight of these people so that people can know that this is what's happening. But unfortunately, that is not maybe what's happening with someone or other people who are just there to become celebrities, to becoming known. I want to be heard on radio so that people can know this person is a great radio personality. But for me, that is not the reason why I joined radio or television. I'm there to tell these stories at a journalistic angle. Yeah, as a radio, I think that happened on radio sometime last year around November. We were doing a show. Actually, I was supposed to get in the show to do my show, and it was a late night show. It was a Champions League match. I remember Paris Saint-Germain were playing against a team. And before we start football commentary, basically, you have to lighten up the moment, psych your fans up, introduce the show. But before the other guy was signing out, he was presenting a Roomba show. Actually, he's a nice guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. It's just the way he took it. So those kind of late night shows, sometimes people advertise alcohol, beer, and stuff like that. And then I didn't know what actually he was talking about. So he asked me, what's your favorite beer? And can I buy you this beer? I was like, no, I don't take kegs. They're for cheap people. Kegs are for cheap people. I like to buy beer, bottled beer. And then unfortunately, it turned out that he was advertising a keg. That really sounded bad. But, that's what I call genuine mistakes. It happens. It can happen to anyone. It's just unfortunate that where I was working, it was a big deal because of, like I said, unnecessary competition. But I didn't know what actually the guy wanted me to say. We were just joking, and it was a light moment. And he really didn't bring out the exact intended message, because I think, yes, I had a mistake, but I feel like if you're doing a show and I want to really advertise something, I will lead you into it. For example, we are talking about a car. Instead of starting, what's your favorite car? You might end up saying something that is not. You might say a tuk-tuk. It's your favorite. And I want you to advertise this particular car. I would maybe start off, think about this. You're in this type of car and you're cruising and blah, 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 blah. So I would lead you into it. That guy did not lead me into it. And of course, where I was working, it's competition, one person to another, and it became a big deal. But yeah, that was my accidental moment. Right now, I still do radio. I like football commentary. I like sports shows, both in English and Kiswahili. Not much on TV, but I'm also into a mission to train upcoming sports journalists. Tell you what actually is it. As a journalist, as a whole package, journalism has different sections. Photojournalism, radio, TV, that's broadcast, and then we have print. And basically that's what I'm up to. And I think my style of journalism is a little bit different from like what I've told you a little bit earlier. I want to do it the Mexican style, the way I learned at ESPN Deportes in Mexico, San Luis Potosí, is that you have to be there for on the ground and actually feel it. So today, that's why I'm telling you that I'm athletic. So I play football, and in the morning I was practicing with Harambee Stars players. So actually, I can feel what they're going to. I don't wanna report in a suit. No, my style of journalism is actually to be in the pool. If I'm going to do swimming, I'm gonna swim with swimmers. If I'm going to do athletics, runners, we're going to run. That's it. Boxing, we're going to put our gloves on. So actually, you're trying to be that person so that you can understand his or her emotions. Because sports journalism, basically you're dealing with sportsmen and women, managers, physios, all those, and anything that is involved in sports. And I think in my perspective is that a journalist who understands how the other person reacts, feels, eats, sleeps, and everything, his or her environment, that is actually the best journalist. And for me, that's basically what I want to do. I want to train you to be that sports journalist that can understand the other person. Well, I believe in life you have to start somewhere, and that's it. You never be afraid to go down and start from the ground, because it has its advantages. As a journalist, go to a place where you're going to grow as a journalist, not a place where opportunities, yes, are there, but they're limited. With this country, or in any third world country, African countries, corruption is everywhere. So you might be in a place that is bigger, but the opportunities that are there, they are only for specific people because they have connections. So when you go, maybe someone that cannot be considered as big, but you have opportunities, it gives you a chance to grow. And of course, the dream job is to work in international media houses. I follow a lot of feature stories of international media houses, and they intrigue me. And also simply because international media houses is not just the scope of your story being told worldwide, but also the resources, because in journalism you need resources. For example, I'm working on something currently that is involved around how sport can change a culture. And there are different types of cultures in this country. I have to go to Mpeketoni, I have to go to Lamu, I have to go to Northeastern, I have to travel to Turkana, Lodwar, and all that involves money. And the advantages of working at a big station or something international, they have resources. You'll be able to travel, you'll be able to meet a lot of people, you'll be able to have a good producer, you'll be able to try something different that others have not worked on. And maybe if it fails, you have an opportunity to try again. So of course, the ultimate job is to work top of the top. It's just like, I'm a footballer, and a lot of footballers, if I ask them, what type of team would you like to play? If it's in Kenya, they want to play for dream teams like Gor Mahia or Tusker. If it's international, everyone wants to play for Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Manchester United. Why? Because those are the big teams, the creme de la creme. So that's it, basically. So you want to push yourself to the top of the top. And of course, the journey starts from the bottom. For a young person or any other person out there who wants to become a journalist in general, not just a sports journalist, but a journalist, it involves a lot. Whether you are a photographer, print or broadcast, or TV, radio, first of all is the interest. The other thing is that don't get in it when you think about money. Just get in it because you want to push yourself. The other thing also is hard work and put in a lot of discipline, whereby don't be the kind of journalist that you want to be called to do a story. There are a lot of stories in your environment, so you have to look at your environment first, try and get those stories first, try and get them published, let them be aired. The other thing I think that can be a little bit challenging is to, of course, get a job where you can grow as a journalist, but mostly try and identify your best journalist. For example, you want to be a news presenter or a show presenter. Who do you idol? See how they move, how they react, how they ask questions. So you can also develop yourself from copying other, not really copying, but learning from them. In TV, I used to like a guy from CNN known as Richard Quest, because he was just himself. He was natural. And here in Kenya, if there's a person that can really do news, and I really like that person, is Solem Doe. And every time I really want to watch news because of Solem Doe, because he actually presents news to you. He does not read news to you. And so it's just what you want. And you can, for example, there's another writer, his name is Kwamchetsi Makoha. And I used to really like his articles for politics, and the list could go on and on. So basically, you learn from someone else. I'm now doing investigative journalism, and in this country, to me, no one has done it the way John Allan Namu does it. So if I want to become a good investigative journalist, I'm trying to see a lot of good works that he has done, and I'm basically learning from him. So the list goes on. In football commentary, I would identify one. Who's your best football commentator? And maybe I would go back to the days of Ali Salimanga, blah, 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 and I'll pick one. So in Swahili, I want to do it the way this guy does it, but you come up with your own style. It's not that I'm copying from that person, but I'm learning from him. There's a lot of things to learn. Maybe for football commentary and the game is up on the tempo, how do you react to it? When do you invite your analyst to speak? When do you commentate? When do you stop? And you do realize that football commentary is different, for example, for TV and for radio, because for radio, people are not seeing, they're listening. So you have to explain the moments. But for TV, someone is watching it. So I can't really explain to you what you're watching, but I'll tell you a good moment. Then for TV, it involves a lot of analysis as opposed to radio. So those are some of the things that you learn slowly by learning from others. So I will tell you, like an upcoming journalist, depending on your area, is a lot of hard work, is a lot of discipline, and also learning from others. But also just remember that you have to set your goals. You have to set your goals right and work on them. It's all about competing with yourself, not with another person. That's one thing that I think, especially radio journalists, are doing a big mistake, is that I'm getting on radio to rival someone. I'm not getting on radio to rival someone, but for me, I want to make better. There are two types of journalists: journalism with impact and journalism for numbers. Unfortunately, a lot of us are going for journalism with numbers, whereby you want to become a celebrity and have a huge following. But for me, my type of journalism is impact. I want to impact a life. I want to tell a story that can move someone for change.